Welcome to Inside Out, brought to you by Promise Resource Network, the Disneyland of service providers in Charlotte. I always got to say that. I got a wonderful crowd here today. I got my crew in the house. Hopefully we'll have some folks come on. What we're going to talk about today is free yourself through forgiveness of self. Right? I can be in bondage because of the resentment, the regret, all that stuff, right? I'm going to start with a definition. You know, I love a definition. Stop feeling angry or resentful towards someone for an offense, flaw, or mistake. So it is releasing the anger and the resentment towards ourselves. That somebody is me. That somebody is me. Mm-hmm. So it also says to cancel a debt, to forgive. Mm-hmm. I like that. To cancel a debt. I feel I can carry a load, a burden of unforgiveness for myself. Right? For resentment and regret. It's just that regret, I think. Would you like to read? Robin has something to read for us out of, as Bill sees it.
And basically for me, with all of the defects that I've done, all of the crap that I've done and hurt people and been so self-centered, the main thing I wanted was for my higher power to forgive me, because that's where I wanted to start and then move on to people. But so this is what this says. If we ask, God will certainly forgive our derelictions, but in no case does he render us white as snow and keep us that way without our cooperation. That is something we're supposed to be willing to work towards ourselves. He asks only that we try as best we know how to make progress in the building of character. I really like that willingness, willing to work, and that's what I think it takes. And I'll open it up, but I do have some. I'll tell you one more thing. I realized this morning in my walk, I had forgiven my parents for something. I can't even remember what it was. It was so long ago. And so I prayed to please let that forgiveness go. Can you take that? And now I can't even remember what it was about. And I've been set free.
That's it. I'm used to being in that situation where I got to forgive somebody else for what they've done to me. Right? Mm-hmm. And I think, to forgive myself may not take action. Willingness is action. Mm-hmm. And the progress towards building character. I like that. That freedom as we grow into the selves that we want to be. Yes, ma'am.
I think sometimes, good morning, family. Sometimes I think kids move like, if I'm the one to take the responsibility, if I let things happen and I know it don't go down the right way, I'm the one responsible. So how can I be mad at that person? Mm-hmm. I should be mad at myself.
Yeah.
And that's where I forgive myself for letting it happen.
That's that power we have. Yes, sir.
Okay, morning, everybody. Grateful Tommy again.
Hey, Tommy.
My hang up with forgiveness is like, okay, I know I've prayed, I know I've forgiven this person. Even some are dead and gone, even some years ago. But if I forgive them, then why the hell did this pile of shit just comes back and pop up out of nowhere anytime, any day? And I'm like, where the hell did that come from? That person died years ago. I've been forgiving that person. Yeah, so basically I have to play the whole tape from the beginning. And that's basically how I get through it.
Yeah.
But still the thing is, if I forgave them, I've been forgiving them years and years ago, then where the hell does this come from and just keep popping back up like it just happened yesterday?
Yeah. Do you think maybe you got to forgive yourself as part of the process?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so.
I forgive myself.
Yeah.
I guess it's just something I have to work on.
Well, like it says, the process, the progress toward.
maybe time.
Yeah, a little bit of time, a little bit of activity, a little bit of things we can do, and we're going to talk about that. Anything else about forgiving ourselves? Yes, sir.
I guess it comes forgiveness, and when it comes forgiving others ourselves, I mean, you can forgive yourself, forgive others, you can't be free.
Yeah.
And that's a process, sometimes it can take years. You have to forgive yourself, forgive others, that can take years, that's a
Yeah.
process. It didn't happen overnight.
Yep, you're exactly right. It doesn't happen overnight. We've got to be able to be patient with ourselves too, don't we?
Yeah.
That's a big part of it. That's a big part of it. And yes, Porter.
Sometimes you have to remind yourself that forgiving myself or forgiving someone else. Sometimes you have to be reminded, like, oh yeah, I went to go. Sometimes by changing the channel, so it's like, listen, I choose not to be held hostage of something that I haven't control.
Yes.
If it's happened already, sometimes I have to learn from it. If I don't learn the lesson, chances are it's going to have a hold over me. Sometimes I have to realize what the reason for it happening was. Sometimes I have to realize that I have been forgiven so many times.
Yeah.
Sometimes I messed up in my higher power to give me grace and mercy. I have to do the same thing. It's the karma way. I know I may still make mistakes, and I want people to forgive me. Sometimes it's not intentional that I make harm to someone, but I know the damage I've done along my journey. I know that's a good gift here. I've had like you had forgiven me.
Yeah.
Because I still had to grow. But that was part of my growth. Still in the process of me.
Well, we do, and it's our motives may be really good, and we can still harm people.
You know, realize some of my jokes make harm people.
Yeah.
I didn't do it
Words are powerful.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See, I don't know how my words are even their intention.
Does anybody, when they do something like they do something, even if it's little, that's negative and it affects somebody else, anybody carry that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yesterday, I was negative toward, this guy, we both wanted the same seat. And he said, that's my seat. And he was a grown man. And I said, thank you, gentlemen.
Tell it, Robin.
But I felt bad as hell that I said that.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said that to him. And I did apologize afterwards. He wasn't right. It doesn't
No.
matter. He should have given a woman a chair.
Yeah. As far as being in the South, that is a big no-no.
That is just wrong. But at any rate, I'm the one that, even though you said little. that was
Yeah,
so
those
silly.
little things.
But I thought I would rather like to be grouchy with him.
That's it. I don't want to be that person in the universe today. Right. And when I am, it sticks with me. I've got those little things in my head. Man, I should have done that. Regret. I have more regret about things I didn't do rather than things I did. Does that make sense? All the things that I could have done for people, right? With people that could help me grow and progress towards a stronger character.
It's not building bridges, not burning them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I may need that person. We may need each other, and you never know who's looking at you. I'm an example now.
Yes.
I know what not forgiving someone else. I know how they can harm me. And sometimes I want to use because I get to let go of some things in my past.
Yeah.
I can't control those things. All I can do is learn from them. I'm not going to do the same thing to somebody else to learn from me.
That's
So
it.
I do what I don't want to do to other people. Now I get an example. Like I know how not having a voice and not being heard, how it feels, so I know not to do that to other people. Now I use bring empathy to other people so that way.
Yeah. Let me read this. It says, being able to forgive ourselves requires empathy, compassion, kindness, and understanding. It also requires us to accept forgiveness is a choice. Accept that forgiveness is a choice. It's always a choice, isn't it? I can dance to a choice. What am I going to choose? That gets on my nerves when I got a choice, because sometimes I don't want to choose the right thing, right? But forgiveness is a way that we can go. It's that freedom of action we have. Grown people making grown choices, getting grown consequences. Yes, Mayor.
Everybody, I don't know if y'all know or not, but I'm struggling because I'll be on Facebook, and that's where I met this person on Facebook. But I forgive that person today.
Okay.
But I still go back on Facebook and still try to know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm causing myself emotional pain. Am I really over it? So what do you think?
Well, honey, I don't know,
I
but
don't know you.
but we ain't gonna do that 50 minutes, play the receptionist.
Well, I forgive
But
you,
that's it, that's good. But like Tommy said, maybe there's a little bit in me I need to forgive. What
Yeah.
is it in me that I need to forgive? Let me go over the first one. The first tip, it says,
Okay.
focus on your emotions. One of the first steps in learning how to forgive ourselves is to focus on our emotions. Before I can move forward, I need to acknowledge and process those emotions that I have. Give myself permission to recognize and accept the feelings that have been triggered in us and welcome them. You talked about being triggered, right? Learning how to forgive ourselves by I know, but y'all, when I first came into recovery, I didn't know anything about emotions. You know, we had ecstasy and rage, and that's all I had. And to sit down today and be able to say, okay, I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling regret. I'm feeling resentment towards myself. What am I going to do in this situation? What choice am I going to make? Right? That's the beauty of it. We have choice today. Yes, sir.
I have a vocabulary. All you know, I hate you, I love you. There's a lot of different emotions in between us. Sometimes people have the vocabulary is articulate how you feel. Sometimes it's not anger. Sometimes it's anger. Sometimes it's sadness. And sometimes we confuse anger or sadness or different emotions. But that's what they call it for feel. And sometimes it's not true.
Yeah.
You realize, am I angry or am I sad? Sometimes
Yeah.
I'm not angry. Maybe I'm scared.
Yeah.
Some people like that's why I said about that dog that you see like God growling at you. He may not be angry. He could be hungry. You don't know what that how he's acting or what that actually is, or how people's action does not always represent how they feel.
Absolutely.
This mechanism, sometimes humorous for me. I'm not always laughing, but sometimes that's how I deal with things when I'm uncomfortable. I don't want to
Yeah.
I make a joke out of it.
Yeah.
Some people get angry, some people get sad, some people get loud, but that's just their defense.
We got to be able to accept that part of ourselves, that's not perfect, which I can say, oh my God, I'm not perfect. But then my expectation for myself may be perfection. Do you have something, sir?
Yeah, forgiveness for you. That's what I was saying. As long as you hold an emotion in you always have to.
Oh,
Mhm.
forgiveness is for us, and we hold ourselves prisoner when we don't. Thank you, sir. That's perfect. Yes, ma'am.
I had a girlfriend, she was really close to me for 4 months, and we went to meetings and she drove me to church and all that good stuff. She chose to move out to the boondocks near South Carolina. I don't even know. When I was out there, I was having panic attacks. But at any rate, so now she can't take me to church because it's too far. And so I have been really sad. And I went to 2 meetings I didn't like yesterday. And I had to admit today that I'm sad. There's a sense of abandonment and I'm sad.
Yeah.
And I have to accept the sense of abandonment and the sadness and realize everybody can do what they want to do. That's her choice. And I have no right to be mad.
Mhm.
You know, and I need to forgive her too.
Yeah.
You know, she doesn't know I'm mad at her, but
Oh.
Isn't that it?
I need to forgive her too because she's allowed to make choices too. And it's hard for me right now, but it'll come through. I'm saying let go, let God. And it's going to do that after a while.
You know what I love about that? She doesn't even know I'm mad at her. And but I can carry this stuff and it's so big and I feel so bad. And the other person doesn't even know what the hell I'm talking about. I go up to make an amends and I'm like, and they're like, what the hell? Did you do that? I did.
Oh.
So I can carry things that I think are big because other people are so harmed by me. A lot of times I don't have that power. You know, a lot of times I think I have a power to really harm someone when it doesn't, right?
But sometimes we don't have all the information. Sometimes
Yeah.
They may not have all the information. We may be assumed something that we don't know. Like the text message, you may get angry or something, but as you have more conversation, that I think more information can clear all the confusion in my mind. I may be confused by somebody who wants information like, what did you really mean? After listening, I really got that from Alan. You got to get more details about what you're saying.
Yeah.
You don't mean it the way I take it. I'm taking maybe I'm assuming a big different way than you. Sometimes you get into conversation, it can give you more clarity than what
Yeah.
you're actually meaning.
So what am I? What are my motives behind what I've done? Sometimes like I said, sometimes the motives are good and I still screw up. I can, with my best intentions, take something away from someone that I think is harming them when it's not.
Mhm, mhm.
When it's not. I used to be a case manager, which is nothing like a peer support specialist, because I went around telling people what the hell to do. I said, you got rights. You got the right to do what the hell I tell you. Right? It's just wrong. And I was working with a gentleman who wasn't doing really well with his money. And I was judging that. Right? I was judging that real hard about, you got to do this, you got to do that, because based on my own my own thoughts about what he should do. Well, he was still able to take care of his family somewhat with the money he was getting, and I went and got him a payee, and that destroyed him. It took him. I made a choice. I still hold on to that. The destruction I caused. And that, we got it worked out to where he was his payee again. But who the hell do I think I am? And that's what I carry. That regret about, I shouldn't have harmed this person. And holding on to that, because today I want to walk in love. And when I think back about those things that we're not loving, it just, it's hard. It's hard to accept that part of me that isn't kind. Right? Yes, sir.
It's just a learning experience. I've ruined friendships. I've done a lot of things like that in my life. That's a learning experience. You start not to make the same mistakes twice.
Yeah.
You don't hold on to the rest of your life, but you have to learn from it, not do it again.
That's it.
Moving forward.
Learn from it. Thank you, sir. And if I learn from it, I don't have to do it again.
Yep.
Yeah. So I've got to let go of these things, because this person probably doesn't even remember me, doesn't give a shit, so, but I'm still carrying it. That's
the human in you, the fact that you feel empathy for some. I bet when I was using, I would be able to care less. Oh, please.
Yeah.
Oh, we're grown up, but now I'm ready for that. I can't feel more empathy for people.
Yeah.
I'm growing in recovery. That means I'm caring about you. Now I'm caring about myself to know that I can become better. And I've been this before. I'm an example, like I said. I'm an example of how to handle situations. How not to be angry, held on to regret, because I know how harmful it is. I can send it back to. I want to use and suppress how I feel.
If I don't take care of the inside, it's going to spill out on the outside. My emotions will take me to actions. That unforgiveness will take me to a point, I'm just talking about me, will take me to a point of depression, of anxiety, of all the things that I go through, right? Hold on. Yes, sir.
Yeah, don't forget all the God you put out there. You gonna see you put you gonna come right back up.
Yeah.
When they come back up, you just be man up. Oh well, I did it, and we'll move on.
I did it, to hell with it. Boy, yeah, I understand. That's good. That's good. Let it go. Hold on. It says, acknowledge the mistake out loud if we want to forgive ourselves. It says, if you make a mistake and continue to struggle with letting it go, didn't I just talk about that? Acknowledge out loud what you learned from the mistake. What did I learn from that mistake?
Wow.
I learned that I don't have that kind of power. I shouldn't have that kind of power over people. And when I think I do, I need to step back and get real with myself and know that I really don't want to have that power today. When we give voice to the thoughts in our head and emotions in our hearts, we may free ourselves from some of the burdens. We also imprint in our mind what we learned from our actions and consequences. Grown people making grown choices, getting grown consequences. I got to remember that. Yes, ma'am.
So, it's just about like when you get clean and sober and life is good and things are good, like keep saying this, things for me, things, I just keep it moving. I gotta focus on sobriety. My main thing is just staying sober
Yes.
today,
Yes.
1 second at a time. And these things like, I forgive. Do
Uh-huh.
I forget? I'll be honest, no.
Yeah.
But I forgive. And like I said, piggyback on what you said, Mr. Williams, if I don't forgive, then I'm holding myself hostage of prisoner of letting
Yeah.
things go.
Yep.
Yeah.
We are. Absolutely. I'm drinking poison expecting the other person to be ill.
That person might not even care though.
That's it. They don't even know. They don't care. I ain't that important. But I was taught to make an amends to someone is that you don't say you're sorry. Sorry got worn out. Sorry don't count no more. I need to say I'm sorry for doing this. Being specific about what I did. Just like it said, voice it. Being specific about what I did, then I need to ask the person, how can I make it right in your eyes? Not my eyes, in your eyes. How can I make that right? Like if I owe somebody money, they may say, oh, forget about it, right? Or they may say, you owe me with interest. That's their choice. They choose how to make amends, right? So when it talks about voicing what I did, I think that's really powerful. I think it's really powerful, that I put into words that is in me so that it can come out, right? Words are so powerful.
And you can even say, can't you? I'm sorry, I didn't
No.
raise my hand. Can't you just say, I am very sorry for my behavior. What can I do for you?
Mhm.
You don't have to get
Yeah.
specific that I kicked them. in the
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes we don't want to get real specific because they don't know everything. So, that money in your dressing. It says, think of each mistake as a learning experience. We were talking about that, weren't we? It says, each mistake as a learning experience that holds the key to moving forward faster and more consistently in the future. Reminding ourselves that we did the best we could do with the tools and the knowledge we had at the time will help us forgive ourselves.
Yeah.
That's helped me forgive other people too. People are doing the best they can with what they got. I got to say that to myself. I did the best I could with what I had. Right? Even when I was using, I did the best I could with what I had, which wasn't much. I did things that were unkind. I did things that were truly harmful to other people. And I want to learn from that. I'm tired of going back to that. I'm tired of harming people in that same way. My sarcastic humor can harm someone, right? My words can harm someone.
Mentions of wellness, that I think I would even put that back up there because I want to be reminded that finances, the religion, all those things, if any of those things are off whack, I can act in a way that I wouldn't normally. If I haven't eaten, if my finances and my health, I have to realize that those are my things that I need to deal with, and I need to make sure that I have all those things are filled, because if they're not, if anything is lacking, then that's when the problems come to me. What I can allow it to. I don't have to allow it to my finances or all those things. I have to be aware of it and do to solve these problems in my life. Because I realize that some people have the same things in their life, and we have finances or health issues or something in their life that they can't control.
Yeah.
Something that we all have these things. I have to realize that I have these things. So if I have them, chances are other people around me may have them as well. So how about not just give people empathy? I don't know what you're going through. Until we have a conversation like this, we sit and have in rooms and have actual face-to-face conversation, we don't know what people are going through. Just actually have a conversation and say, well, how are you doing today? They actually listen to the answer, because they may inform you of what they're going through, and you may handle them differently.
When we get that information, absolutely, by asking somebody else how they're feeling, what's going on in their life. If they say, okay, I got to accept that. But if they go deeper, I have a hard time doing small talk now. Right now that I've gone a little deeper, I don't want to hear about the Panthers. I don't give a shit about the Panthers. I want to know how you're doing. Right. And the same thing, Porter. I got to ask myself how I'm doing. And sometimes that's hard. It's for me to be honest with myself. Sometimes that can be hard. About honesty about what I'm feeling about the regret of what you grinning for? About the regret of what I did.
Get rich.
Give yourself permission to put this process on hold. It says if you made a mistake, but have a hard time putting it out of our minds, we can visualize our thoughts and feelings about the mistake going into a container, such as a mason jar or a box. Then tell ourselves to put this aside for now and return to it when you're in a better space. I do that. Sometimes when I'm overwhelmed by something and I can't deal with it at that time, I'm at Walmart, right? And I'm triggered and something comes up from my past. I put it in a drawer and I put it all in there. And I take it and I put it into this big cabinet with a bunch of drawers, right? Of all the other things. And I put it in there and I can tell myself, that's not now. I'll deal with that later. And that's okay. It's okay to put things in a different. Yes, sir.
You know, things I've had deals with, like, when you've wronged someone, they don't forgive you. And you've lost a good friend, you know you made a mistake, you know you ruined the friendship. And you apologize, the person won't forgive you, that's hard to accept. And then you have to accept that and move on, you know?
Yeah.
That person knows they're not gonna forgive you. And that's, you have to move on and accept that. Accepting that's hard.
When somebody doesn't forgive us, it's
Yeah,
hard to
it's
forgive
very hard.
ourselves. Yeah,
You know, you
absolutely. Yeah.
You apologize, you did me wrong, you're at fault, I mean, you just can't, it's hard to accept it.
Yeah. And I got to, right? It's their choice. It's their choice. Have a conversation with your inner critic. Itty bitty shitty committee. Right? You got something, Jimmy?
Yeah, let me share.
Yeah.
About my process of self-forgiveness. You know, like, but I don't know how for me, people in this group are familiar with the 12 steps of AA, but anyway, well, even NA too. But in the fourth step, you make a moral inventory, keep the good on, and you know. But anyway, what I neglected, I could see for me, in the beginning, I could only see the people that I felt harmed me. But my sponsor quickly pointed out to me that I left myself out, all the harm that I had done to myself. You know, because, you know, if I look back on it, when I look back on it, if somebody else had done to me what I did to myself, I'd be wanting to kill them, you know.
Yeah.
Because I really treated myself really shitty.
Yeah.
You know, and I had a lot of guilt for allowing myself to. I mean, after that realization, I had a lot of guilt about allowing myself to get where I had to go to become what I had become. You know, but you know, but I mean, it was a process of forgiving myself and moving on because, you know, I learned that in order for me to move on, get past the guilt, I had to forgive myself. You know, so yeah, so it was a process, but the more loving and caring I became for myself, I've been able to do that towards other people that I feel that harm me. Forgive myself for, you know, a lot of that
Yeah.
crap that I had
Oh,
done.
yeah. That's hard to do, to forgive ourselves in that. And you're right. When with addiction, with alcoholism, there's a process for some people. It's that 12 steps. I went through the 12 steps too, and it helped me greatly. And the fourth step in AA and NA is about, I write down everything that I did. And the fifth step is when I say it, you know, remember given the power to words when I let this out, when I become free. right? But I need to be the first one on that paper that I harmed. You're right, Jimmy. I harmed myself greatly. And I got to be willing today. But you know, the thing of it is, when they told me I could recover from my mental illnesses, from my mental issues and everything, I looked around, there wasn't anything, you know, I'm like looking for what do I do? What do I do? You know, and I think it's in classes like this that I learn, because anything I put out there, I learn. I put out what I'm seeking. Today, I'm seeking self-forgiveness, right? And I think it's on time. Anybody else struggling with this? Self-forgiveness?
The hard way. It's like, they say if you don't respect yourself, nobody will. You respect yourself, for yourself, then truly show. So with love and respect comes feeling better about yourself, treating yourself right, getting your mental health, taking your medication, getting enough sleep. I learned that the hard way.
Yeah. Robin?
I am. And at this point, it's really funny. And what Jimmy had to say also really evoked some memories, because when I started my career in using and drinking, I was about 21, 22. And I have thought back about that pretty little girl and what I was doing. It almost scares me, the stuff I was pouring in my body. How did I do that? My God. And so I think visualizing it might be a good thing, but then I have to let go and let God. I really got to let go, but I've never been there. I've never examined this stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to spend a little time examining, not necessarily my behavior, which sucked, you know, but I was high as a kite and drunk as a loon. And so I need to just kind of process that and look at myself and forgive myself, damn it.
Yeah.
Also, another thing I just want to bring up, and I know we can't say that that's why we did it, but I do have a disease, and I actually have two, and I didn't know I had them at the time, and so that in some way is why my behavior was a certain way.
You know, when I found out my issues, what it was called, what the general characteristics were about what I'm dealing with, it helped because it gave it a name. And it gave what I did, what I was doing, what I was feeling, it gave it a name, and it gave me understanding because of that. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm making sense or not. But when they told me, you've got this, fill in the blank, it helped me understand better. And when I understood better, getting more information like Porter was talking about, it's easier for me to forgive myself because I know what I've been through. Even when I was drunk and high and stealing and lying and all that shit I did that. Remember, I did the best I could with what I had at the time. Yes, sir.
Sometimes when you forgive people, like I had a mental illness, you know, and that caused me to do some things I wouldn't have normally done if I was normal, you know. So I can forgive myself easier because there's a lot of things I didn't want my fault.
Yes.
I needed medication and treatment. So, you know, a lot of those things weren't my fault. The person can't forgive me if it's not my fault. I can forgive myself easier, you know. I would have normally done that. And I want myself. You know.
I need to have that real balance between I'm doing this because I can't control this with I'm doing this, but I'm making a choice, right? I want to take responsibility.
I realize there's always a what behind the why, even if it's not the cause. There's a reason why we do the things we do. Even what I was doing, what I was using. The reason I was using because I didn't know how to deal with what I was going through, and I didn't know that my situation was not abnormal to anybody else. I didn't know that I was going through mental health issues because I had no one else around me. When I get around people around myself, I get a voice. I don't need to anymore because I have conversations and information about the community. And the community now I don't feel so alone. The drugs and things make me feel like I was able to go through what I was going through and not actually feel it. And now I can actually feel the feelings I'm feeling and not be scared of them things and not feel exactly control.
Absolutely.
Especially when you have a community and there's a reason for it. understand. Every time it takes me time to understand that. Sometimes you don't get it right then. It takes me more to grow. You like look back like, oh, that's what it was for.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't get it right then.
The deeper I go deeper and deeper and deeper, and more will be revealed, they told me. Right? More will be revealed. Yes, sir.
And I'm feeling it somewhere come up there. Sometimes it's our dad man say, you know, we keep on saying something, keep on finding out, so make you going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who you are, you know. I mean, you got good, you got bad, you got a choice.
Yeah.
And we can make good choices and we make bad choices. And realize what we done, hey, wipe it off, move on. Don't hold it on and get that bag with you.
Oof.
Wipe it off and hell with it, move on.
That's it. That's it. I had a friend that her sponsors was weird as hell, I thought. But she told her, she told her sponsee to get a small bag of potatoes. Just one of those little bag of potatoes. And she said, I want you to carry that around everywhere you go for a week. And she did, you know, the meetings, to work, everything. She hid it and everything. Well, after about a week, it's getting all slimy and nasty, right? You know how potatoes get when they start going bad, just really nasty. And the sponsor was saying that's your resentment. Nasty. You've carried it. There's weight to it. And if you look at it, it just keeps getting more and more slimy and gross and nasty. And if I carry that in me, you know, if I carry those rotten potatoes in me, it will affect me and it will infect. I carry it. It's like that, like you were saying, we carry it. And I don't want to do that today. I want to do something different. I want to choose something different. It says no. Do what, hon?
You get a dressed up garbage can.
Dressed up garbage can. Yeah, I've been that before. Yeah. Eric.
I was gonna say, for me, forgiving myself is extremely hard, just like everybody else. And I don't think it clicked for me. The process didn't really click for me to really pay attention and be open to it. So I kept hearing in the rooms principle before personality. And, you know, it took me a while. I'm just now getting a grip on what that means. And once I started understanding that, for me to forgive I was first on my list. I was very first on my list because I knew once my sponsor told me this is just between me and you for now, I put me.
Yeah.
Big as hell.
Good.
But he made me put other people.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, once I started learning principle for personalities, I started realizing that most of my resentments and people I was mad at, people that were mad at me, I was mad at people for being mean to me. That energy was projecting, I was coming back. Now, what the difference was between those principles and those personalities was I was holding on to resentments because of the actions that other people were doing to me.
Yeah.
I felt I was wrong. But when I sat down and I actually started looking at the principles, instead of looking at the person and saying, well, they should have done this, they should have done that, I started looking at me and, well, I was doing this to project my frustration. I was doing that to project my anger. That person is doing the same way. Whether or not I'm doing it the way they would, doesn't matter. They're speaking out their voice from hurt or from whatever. It might be me, it might be whatever they're going through. But as long as I keep that in mind, that that's their voice for whatever it is they're dealing with, and that's the principle.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who is coming from, what I feel like they should have done. Because when I start putting in there, oh, I got wrong by this person because they could have just told me that instead of just taking off the swing it on.
Yeah.
Well, I don't control it. I don't control their reaction because nobody can control mine.
Yeah.
But when I look at that was just their reaction, then it's easy for me to forget whether I like what they did or not.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we all we want to be heard.
Yeah.
Whether we're sick or whether we consider ourselves well or not. We want to be heard.
Yeah.
You know, that normal doesn't really exist. Not being on this side of things, to understand what I know,
Yeah.
because everybody goes through something. It's just how we.
That's it. That's it. I don't know. You know, that work I did you see that?
Okay, you did that on purpose.
Not the first time. Second time I did it on purpose. I love that, Eric, because it is about knowing how we harm someone and then how we harmed ourselves. I love that you put yourself first. That is awesome because you understood that there were things that we do to ourselves, you know, that have to be forgiven. Some harm that I've done to myself, drinking, using, stealing, lying, all the things that I did, especially to me, lying to myself, to tell myself the truth today, I think can be so powerful. Somebody talk, I got to get this back up. Oh man, come on. There we go. Don't laugh at me. No, did I say notice when you're being self-critical? Yeah, the itty bitty shitty committee. Quite the negative messages of the inner critic. Sometimes it can be difficult to recognize the thoughts that are getting in the way of forgiveness. If we're struggling to sort out our inner critic, they say, use this exercise. One side of a piece of paper, write down what the inner critic says, which tends to be critical and irrational. On the other side, write a self-compassionate, rational response for each thing that you wrote on the other side of the paper. A rational, self-compassionate response. Like you said, some people come at us because of what they're carrying. Sometimes I get at myself for what I'm carrying, and I talk that talk. It just gets so deeper, right? I don't know. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm just saying shit now. Get clear about what you want. Know what you want. The mistake we made hurt another person. We need to determine the best course of action. Do we want to talk to this person and apologize? Is it important to reconcile with them to make amends? I got to understand what I want in the situation. What my process is, what my next steps are, so that I can do something different.
I've got something
Yes.
that I was thinking about, and you know I'm quick. My sister, who's 8 years younger than me, has not talked to me during my entire sobriety. About 4 years is how long she hasn't talked to me. And she just stopped. I didn't do anything dramatic. She just stopped. And so I pray every day that whatever God's will is, to keep her safe. And really, in my heart of hearts, I'd like to talk to her. So because of this class, I was sitting here thinking, I've forgiven her. I really have. I can't tell you what she did to me. I can maybe, but I've forgiven her. But I don't think I've forgiven myself for the things that I did. That I can't remember exactly, but my behavior was self-centered and selfish. And that's what I can forgive myself for. And I don't know if that'll do anything, but the energy of forgiveness does strange things. So we'll just see.
I like that, the energy of forgiveness. I don't know, I see it as smooth.
Yeah.
Like a lake, just chill. When I can look at myself and see
I've never
my
thought
part.
about looking at myself like that. I looked at my part, but my part was
Yeah.
always just I was selfish, blah, blah, blah. And to really concentrate on looking at yourself and envisioning yourself in the situations that you were in, I think might be very helpful.
Give us an understanding of our part
Mhm.
against ourselves.
Right.
I like that. Yes, sir.
One thing that when you have to accept, when you apologize to someone, you have wronged that person, I've apologized, and I say, I've done my part. I
Mhm.
apologize.
Right.
I'm wrong, I made a mistake. Then I'll speak forgive myself.
Yes.
If I don't apologize to that person, I'll apologize to them, let them know I messed up, I made a mistake, I have a hard time forgiving myself. If I've done my part, I can apologize, they don't accept me, forgive me, I can forgive myself easier, I know I've done my part.
Thanks, Ashley. That's wonderful, yeah.
That's
I
it.
can
That's
take
it.
that with me.
That's it. Yes, ma'am. Perfect.
Like you can apologize all day long and like they might not want to respond, they might not write back, they might want to accept. Like you say, you done your part, let it be. Leave it alone.
So when I've done my part with myself, what's my part?
Oh, yeah.
To choose, right? To choose to make an amends to myself. So I got to say it out loud, like I said. Say it out loud.
I forgive myself.
I forgive myself for this specific thing. I don't know. I forgive myself is too broad for me. I think I got to go one at a time. That's I gotta work it out. You know, I can just say, okay, I was an asshole. No, that's not enough. That was general. All right. It says show kindness and compassion. If our first response to a negative situation is to criticize ourselves, it's time to show ourselves some kindness and compassion. The only way to begin the journey up to forgiveness is to be kind and compassionate with ourselves. This takes time, patience, and a reminder to ourselves that we're worthy of forgiveness. We are worthy of forgiveness, of forgiving ourselves. Right? Yes, sir.
Now, I find recovery, it takes honesty, open mind, willing for a reason. You got to make it positive to yourself and then move on.
Yeah.
Oh my, you can't move up now, move on, trying to take garbage with you. So, somebody's gonna do something for you. Don't forget you're gonna need something from somebody else.
Yeah.
But pass it on, move on, and do something different. Love yourself today.
Mm-hmm.
I can do this. Have confidence in yourself, have faith in yourself, have integrity in yourself.
There you go. Acceptance, love, and respect.
Right.
That's it. When I can have that for myself, I'm well on my way.
Yeah, exactly.
Good deal. Good
Exactly.
deal. Well, Darlene says good morning.
Good morning, Doug.
Darling, we're about to shut down. You'll have to watch it on the tape, but I'm glad you're there. I'm glad you're here with us. Hey, I want to thank the crew. Give yourself a hand. There we go.
Great topic, great topic.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. So I want to say two things. First, about the warm line. If you need to talk to somebody, even if it's 3:00 in the morning, we've got a group of folks that can help. If you call our warm line, you'll talk to a peer support specialist that can give you resources, that can listen. Listen, like Eric was saying, we need to be heard. We need to be heard. So give us a call, 833-390-7728. And share this. Share this. Someone you know may need to hear this today. So just share it. It ain't gonna replay. Okay, there you go. Darlene's gonna watch us later. So thank you all. I appreciate you out there. I appreciate Darlene for coming in. Appreciate my crew. Keep peace, share love, and we'll see you later.